Hello everyone, I hope all of you are fine. My name is Shubham and today we'll be studying about some standard graphs and their equations. These graphs will be useful to you for physics as well as for mathematics also. So first case is the equation of a straight line. The equation of a straight line is normally represented by this equation y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the slope and c is the intercept. And this is also y is equal to mx plus c. This is also y is equal to mx plus c, where c is equal to 0, and this is y is equal to mx minus c. So what basic difference between these four equations is, let's say the graph of a straight line or the equation of a straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, let us consider this as well. If I say that m is the slope means this angle which it makes with the positive x-axis, and c is the constant or the intercept. In this case, since it is starting from origin, so it is not cutting any intercept. That is why the value for c is equal to 0 and equation becomes y is equal to mx. In this case, that is theta is there in this equation and it is also cutting an intercept. This is the part of intercept that this line is cutting on the positive y-axis. So the equation of this line would be y is equal to mx plus c. While in this case the equation is being, the intercept is being cut on the negative side of the y-axis. So in this case, instead of plus c, it would be minus c. So the equation would become y is equal to mx minus c. And in this case, where it is being cut, where it is cutting the positive part of y-axis, but the angle made is more than 90 degree. Okay, in this case the angle was less than 90 degree, but in this case the angle is more than 90 degree. So the slope would be negative in this case, m is negative, and the equation would be y is equal to mx plus c. Okay. The next figure that we are going to, these will not be used directly for your let's say physics part. They will be taken at some points during your +1 and +2 physics. So you note down these graphs and draw the equations, note down the equations and draw these graphs as well. The next is the equation for parabola. Now the parabola is of four types. This parabola that you can see in this equation, or rather in this graph, this is open rightwards parabola, since it is opening towards right. And this one is the open leftwards parabola. This is the open upwards parabola, and this is the open downwards parabola. So parabola is of four types, and respective equations are also given in this case. This is x is equal to ky square, x is equal to minus ky square, y is equal to kx square, and y is equal to minus kx square. Okay, you need not to worry anything about what is the value for k, what is the value for minus k. You need not to worry about these things, since they would be useful for the mathematics students. In physics we won't be needing them, so that is why we won't be learning them in detail. Next is the equation for a rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola is the equation which is x is inversely proportional to y, or xy is equal to constant, and the graph looks like this. Okay, so this is the rectangular hyperbola. If an equation is of the form x square plus y square is equal to a square, then it is the equation of circle. If it is of the form x square upon a square is plus y square upon b square is equal to 1, this is the form of ellipse. And if it is of the form y is equal to e raised to the power minus kx, then it is the exponential decay. Now you must be wondering that if we are not to use any of these equations directly, then why are we studying these equations? The answer to this question is, sometimes when you encounter a formula, let's say you have a formula for your class 9th gravitation, F is equal to g m1 m2 upon r square. Okay, it is a very simple formula. We all remember this. F is equal to g m1 m2 upon r square. Okay, if I consider g m1 and m2 as constant, so can I say that F is inversely proportional to 1 upon r square? Of course we can say that F is inversely proportional to 1 upon r square. So the question could be asked that how would the variation would be for this type of equation if I plot let's say force on y-axis and r means distance on x-axis. So this will be similar to this rectangular hyperbola, except for the fact that its slope would be more and it will be somewhat like this. ठीक है, ये वाली जो इक्वेशन आएगी ना, this would be the equation for f is inversely proportional to 1 upon r square. So in such equations, the x and y would be a constants, would be variables of course, sorry, not constants, would be variables of course, and x could be any quantity. For example, in this case x was denoted by distance, and f could be any quantity. In this case f was denoted by force was denoted by y-axis and distance was denoted at x-axis. So I hope you are getting my point, what I am trying to say. It says that whenever we are having any two variables or any two quantities, which in this case were force and distance, so the variation for x and y-axis can be plotted according to these graphs that we have learned. One was straight line, second was parabola, third was hyperbola, fourth was circle, fifth was ellipse, and sixth was the exponential decay. So this is the quadratic equation that we have learned in class 10th. If an equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, this is a general quadratic equation, and the roots of this quadratic equation can be found by formula x is equal to minus b plus minus root d upon 2. And this b square minus 4ac is known as discriminant. This we have all learned in class 10th. The next aspect is the logarithm. As I already told you in the initial videos, this logarithmic function is the new function that we'll be studying in class +1 and +2. These are the basic properties for the logarithmic functions. Log m into n, it is equal to log m plus log n. It means whenever we have to find the value for log 6, we can write it as log 2 into 3. So in this way, log 2 into 3 can be written as log 2 plus log 3. Again, a such topic which is not having any direct application in physics, but it will be indirectly used at many points. Log m by n means log m minus log n. Log m raised to the power n means if we have to calculate the value for, let's say, we have to calculate the value for log of 2 cube, it will be 3 into log 2. Okay, and the fourth part is of course log base e. This is the base changing property. This is known as the base of the log. If the base of the log is e and we have to convert it into base 10, we multiply this by the factor 2.303. Logarithm has your much larger applications in your chemistry part. In physics it is not of that extent, but still it is used at some points in the physics. The next is componendo and dividendo rule. This you already know. If p upon q is equal to a upon b, so we can write p plus q upon p minus q is equal to a plus b upon a minus b. In class 10th you must have learned this rule, componendo and dividendo, and in short we call it as C and D rule. We already have learned a lot about arithmetic progression as well in class 10th, and we have done some questions, rather we have done a complete chapter on this arithmetic progression in class 10th. These are also the basic formulas. I won't be repeating these formulas, you have already learned these formulas. I'll be just giving you a few times so that you can note down all these formulas. These are the formulas that we have learned, except for the fact we have not done anything about the ellipse. For now you can note down its formula. Area of ellipse is given by pi into a into b. जैसे सर्कल का रेडियस होता है ना, वैसे एलिप्स की दो एक्सिस होती हैं, एक सेमी मेजर एक्सिस होती है, एक सेमी माइनर एक्सिस होती है. एलिप्स इज समथिंग इन द शेप ऑफ सर्कल, पर इसको अगर हमने बोलना हो तो इसको हम पिच का वो सर्कल बोलते हैं. पिच का वो सर्कल मतलब a circle which looks like this. This is an ellipse. Okay, so in this case this will be its major axis and this will be its minor axis. So A and B are the lengths of semi major, means half of major, and semi-minor means half of minor, which means if we have to calculate its whole length, this is given by 2a, this is given by 2a, and this is given by 2a. Okay, so you can note down these formulas. Next are the formulae for the calculation or determination of volume. This also we have learned. Rectangle, volume of a rectangular slab, cube, sphere, cylinder, cone. You can note down these formulas in your copies. It will be beneficial for you since these formulas will be used in your physics.